What is up, Honey Badger Nation? And I am really excited to be able to jump into this episode of Expert Mentors Live today, and just do a couple clicks here and get everything rolling the way we want it to roll for today. All right, I'm going to push this into boom. And we're rocking. Well, cool. Well, welcome. So, like I said, I'm super excited to be able to jump in, share with you guys today. A lesson that I was able to learn from my personal coach, Dr. Matt Townsend, who I've been working with and coaching with now for quite some time, several years, to be as a matter of fact. And our kitchen table event that we host on a quarterly basis. When we were in June back in Pittsburgh, we I had the opportunity to be able to stream Matt into the group, and he shared this presentation of the ABCs of happiness, and I was able to kind of pull the things, because this has been so impactful for me, and kind of a lot of the things that he teaches and the tools that he's been able to provide to me in my life. And I was able to share that a couple of weeks ago with at Build in Detroit with my very good friend, the man himself, Mr. Kurt Shewell. And Kurt was the host in Detroit, did an incredible job, an amazing event, two jam-packed days of just tons of great speakers, just adding so much value back into the community. And I was able to share this session that I want to be able to give to you guys today with them as well. So buckle up and let's get this party rocking. So I'm going to do this, and then let's put this into a little slideshow. Well, cool. So let's see if this works this way. Nope. Okay, cool. So we've got this. Awesome. Navigating the technical side of things here. So that's cool. All right, cool. We'll do it this way. Well, awesome. So welcome. And man, want to be able to ride through this presentation with you guys. I know how impactful it was for me being able to have, Matt share it, as well as to the kitchen table crew, but as well as have the opportunity for Kurt allowing me to be on stage in open Build in Detroit a couple of weeks ago. So what an honor to be able to be there, to be able to do that. And so I really want to be able to lay this out and be able to give this back to our expert mentor conversation and back to the Honey Badger Nation. I started off the presentation with this slide because this picture obviously was floating around the internet early on in the year, and it's just a great reminder for all of us, especially for a lot of agents that are struggling, that are wrestling with some things right now. And the American bison is the only animal. When it faces the storm, it turns directly into the storm. It doesn't turn sideways. It doesn't run from it. It doesn't try to hide. It faces it. And to be believed, however, they're built, but to be believed, knowing that they are going to be able to work through the storm a lot faster if they face it, right? They're able to get through it. And so it's such a great reminder for us, no matter where we're at, no matter what we're struggling with, no matter what's going on. I can promise you, you are either in the midst of a storm, you just got through a storm, or I can promise you a storm is coming. And that's just kind of the season and the flow of our life and in our business. And just understanding, though, that this too shall pass, and we can help it pass faster if we face it. And so it's just a great reminder, great representation of how we need, the perspective, and how we need to look and how we need to handle things. So my goal and my intent of this conversation, to be able to give back to you guys, is to be able to give you a framework of really where and what happiness really is, and to give some ahas and distinctions and things to think about from a mindset perspective of where we're at today and where we're going into the future. So that's my goal, my intent, to be able to give you some actionable ideas and frameworks and things to think about, over this conversation. And if not, can have you guys strutting into the rest of the month, the rest of the quarter, the rest of the year like this. I giggle every time I see this because I think it's just the funniest damn picture, and I put it into every presentation. It's the funniest thing that I don't know. I just love it. It's funny. So who the heck is John Kitchens? I know we have a ton of honey badgers. The list is even more massive than we can even keep track of. I mean, 14,000 just in the honey badger Facebook group alone. And so obviously haven't had the opportunity to connect with everybody, or a lot of people not even familiar who the heck this guy is, right? I do have the opportunity to host the Expert Mentor series, as we're hundreds of episodes deep, and no intent to slow down. So a little bit of background: systems process coach for real estate agents that really want to become the true CEO of their business. And, truth is, man, I'm just a coach's kid. I grew up in Lawton, Oklahoma. My dad was in the public school system for over 48 years. And he coached everything. And so that was my childhood, right? Growing up in the locker rooms, growing up on the fields, and just being around, coaching and athletes. And you just kind of get hardwired from environment into what's your life, right? It's the environment, and the environment then, changes the way we think, and the way we think over time forms, certain beliefs. And the beliefs in me really have been instilled that I believe that everyone on the planet needs a great coach in their life. I believe with a great coach in their life, your life will be better. And also believe for your business to be better, you have to become better. If you're not excited or thrilled at where your business is, it's due to the direct correlation of the size of your leadership capabilities. And as you continue to grow and you become better, then that is a direct correlation to where your business can be better. My why I do what I do is really to provide the inspiration and challenge people to think bigger so that they can transform their lives and transform their businesses. Dan Sullivan has one of my favorite quotes, and he says that, if you're not happy with your present situation, it's because your future is not big enough. For our present to be better, our future has to be bigger. And I operate, and clients, and push everybody to operate in the theory of constraints. There's always a constraint somewhere in our life. And typically the very first constraint is always in our minds. That's why, from a mindset perspective, it all starts there. It all starts in our mind. A little background story. Gentleman there on my left he's the connector. He's actually, him and I go way back, junior high school days together. We played golf in junior high and high school. We were actually first roommates in college. And so it's a whole nother conversation, but Michael Reese is the connector. We all lasted about a year in college, and dropped out. And for me, my schooling was in California. I had the opportunity to work in an incredible environment with, just one of those bosses, right, that you're so fortunate and lucky enough to have. And she really taught me the operational side of things of any type of business. And so, like I said, that was my schooling, being able to take, my teachings, my learnings from, that experience, with her at a semi-private, golf resort in Hollister, California, and, getting sucked out of there and getting sucked back home, working with some buddies, high school buddies, friends, and really got in on the operational side of things. And these guys, serial entrepreneurs, and really taking ideas, execution, business, profitability, and sold. And we sold our last business at the end of 2003, and we were jobless. We didn't have anything to do. So we thought it'd be a good idea to own a bar and start a bar. And 128 straight days later, I knew it was time for a change. And like I said, Michael is the connector, and he connected me with Mr. Jay Kinder in 2004. So we are October will be 20 years. So it's been one heck of a ride. Been able to be a part of, 3 separate, real estate businesses, over 4,300 transactions under my watch. 2012 got into the one-on-one coaching side of things, and that number's not even updated. We're over 16,100 one-on-one coaching sessions, opportunity to speak to a lot of people. Not to share those statistics to brag, more so to be able to give you some understanding that I have context and a unique perspective that most real estate agents and coaches don't have, right? To be able to have that much, experience under my belt, rocking so far. I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing people in the real estate space, plus hundreds of others. So let's get into the meat of it. So what's on the agenda today? So I know kind of from a mindset perspective, which is where everything starts, but I want to get into, what we have to do to appreciate today, how we have to believe in tomorrow, and then how we really truly connect deeply with others. And so I'm really excited as I was learning this from my coach, and then being able to share at Build, and then now being able to share with you guys. I'm really excited to go back through this material and give you guys this today. When we get done, I'm going to give you guys access to probably the best business assessment that you can take, right? I know we're talking about mindset and we're talking about happiness, but we also, how that correlates, our mindset then correlates into our business and kind of what we're doing with our business. I'm going to give you guys access to, in my opinion, as well as many others that have taken a lot of assessments regarding their business. This is the best assessment that you'll be able to take to shed some insight of where the constraints are in your business. So give you guys access to that here at the end. So what is happiness? Happiness, really defined, the most accurate term, okay, is the one Aristotle used, eudaimonia, which translates not directly to happiness, but to human flourishing. And so when we look at how, we have to appreciate today, appreciating today is about the power is always in the present moment. That's why we have to engage in our lives. What we avoid imprisons us. And so what are we doing to numb out, right? That's the thing, right? Where we choose to disengage, where we choose not to be present. And for the number one distraction for us, right, is social media. There's a study that was done for being on social media all day is the equivalent of smoking 16 cigarettes a day. I think we can all agree smoking 16 cigarettes a day, right, is not healthy for us. It is actually would be killing us. And hey, I grew up in a smoker's home, man. I smoked, early on in my life, and knowing how I feel now, not smoking for decades versus when I did smoke and growing up in a smoker's household, it's killing you. So if the study shows being on social media all day is the equivalent of smoking 16 cigarettes, do you think that is killing you? Absolutely you do. There was another great study that was done with nuns over a period of time and paying attention to their journaling habits, their journaling practice. And what they found is that the nuns that journaled about faith and optimism in their journals more were likely to live longer than those that didn't. What is your gratitude practice? The struggle ends when gratitude begins. And what is that for you, right? Where do you find that? My journaling habit, I handwrite everything, but from a gratitude practice, the very first thing that I do every morning on my phone, on my device, is that I open up and I go to my notes section. and I have a note that says gratitude and wins. And I type in the date, I type grateful, and then I just start typing in everything, or I'll voice it even. What am I most grateful for in that moment? That is how I start my day every day, and I have for years. But that allows me to put myself into an appreciative gratitude state before I even start the day. So what is that for you? There can always be gratitude and blessing in everything. There's a story, I think, from World War II in the concentration camps. And there was a location to where they were bringing all the women and putting them into this house. Well, this house was infested with fleas, and the women were in there. Yet every day, every evening, the women would come together and they would read stories out of the Bible. They would read Bible passages, and they would just kind of have the conversations and share. And one of the evenings, they were kind of going around and sharing kind of what they're grateful for. And one of the ladies said, "I'm so grateful for these fleas," right? And as you can imagine, they're looking around and they're like, "What? Are you crazy? These fleas are eating us alive." And she said, "You do realize that if it wasn't for the fleas, the guards would be in here." See, the guards wouldn't even go in there. See, the guards would come in, they would take this Bible from us, and we would not be able to have these moments. And so I think it's always to understand that there can be blessings in everything. There's always opportunity. There's always, being optimistic in every situation. So, being able for them to have that time together, and it was all because of the fleas. So fleas can even be a blessing. So once we have our practices, we're appreciating the day, we have to then believe in tomorrow. And when we start to believe in tomorrow, we are 93% happiest when we use our strengths for 10 plus hours per week. And there's all kinds of assessments out there, right? And my go-to assessment right now has been Working Genius with Patrick Lencioni. I just revisited my Clifton Strengths assessment. Thank you, Tina Call, helping unpack and understand that, right? So really we're aligning and building my life around my strengths, getting in my production quadrant where I'm the happiest, to have the most energy that makes me the most amount of money. However, there is one other assessment that really identifies who you are at your core. And that is the VIA Character Strengths Assessment that you can go and take. It's on the University of Pennsylvania's website. But if you go to AuthenticHappiness.org, and I challenge all of you to take this, right? I challenge you all to take the Clifton, take the DISC, take the Working Genius, take them all, right? The more that you can create from a self-awareness and the more you can understand about you, the better and the happier you're going to be, because, right? Let's go back to Aristotle's definition. It's human flourishing. Where are you going to flourish? But I challenge you all to go take this assessment. Here's the caveat. It's long. It's going to take you a good 30 minutes. You're going to answer over 240 questions, multiple choice, and it's going to be almost the same question over and over and over again, just asked a different way. And it's going to be like, just click, click, click. Let me get through this. But take the test, because what we have as humans is that we all have 24 character traits. The beautiful thing is that everybody's in a different order. And what you want to do is you want to identify and find the top 5 or 6, and you want to Gary V, you want to triple down. You want to go all in on your strengths. You can be aware of your weaknesses, but you don't want to put time and energy to try and improve your weaknesses, because it won't give you the the gains that you'll have in your life if you just pour more into your strengths. Okay. And so it's probably one of the best true assessments about yourself that you can take. And this also kind of helps you craft and identify your values, your core values, who you are at your core. But it also allows you to align what you're doing to be able to find that human flourishing, to be able to be in a state of flow, because you're doing what you love, what you're the best in the world at, as well as finding and aligning to monetize on that's going to give you the most amount of money in your business and in your life. And that's strategically aligning who you are to what you're best equipped to do. And so go take that assessment. It is so powerful to be able to take that. And really be able to dive in there. My top, capacity to love and be loved, hope, optimism, future mindedness, gratitude, zest, enthusiasm, energy, and perspective, wisdom. And going through unique ability exercise from Strategic Coach, it's taking a lot of these assessments, but then it's also getting feedback from the people around you that will tell you what you need to hear, and not so much what you want to hear, and getting that feedback from them and looking at all of the feedback and how they view me and see me really aligns, to this assessment. But then it's also a gut check. Am I building and living a life that allows me to flourish in this regard? So I know I'm kind of beating on this drum a little bit, but it really is super important to have that understanding. And as we're believing into tomorrow, well, this right here is probably one of the best and important diagrams that you can really pay attention to. And so when Matt shared this with me, it like it was one of those like, oh my gosh moments, right? Where I was like, are you kidding me? And it is super simple, right? To think about this. So what we're all looking for is this flow channel. And we've all been in a state of flow, right? When we're doing something and it's effortless, it's like giving us energy. It doesn't even feel like work. And we get into that. And we would like to be in there more often. Well, we can, but we have to understand what puts us in there. So we can go one side or the other, right? To where we fall out of this. And the first is to where we feel very anxious, in a state of anxiety. And we see that right now with what's going on in the real estate space, is that, think about this, right? Real estate has become more challenging. Okay. And it's put us into a state of anxiety for some. Well, the reason that it is because the challenge has increased, yet our skill set hasn't grown enough to match that level of challenge. And so if you're feeling anxious right now, the reason is that you don't have the skills required to meet the challenge you're facing. So you can do one of two things, or you can just stay. So really three things. You can just stay anxious. You can lower the challenge to meet your skill level, or you can improve the skills required to meet the challenge, which will put you back into a state of flow. And then vice versa. If you're sitting around and you're freaking bored right now, then you need to up your challenge. You're not challenging yourself enough if you're bored. And so I thought it was just a fantastic illustration to really understand the correlation. If I'm anxious, I need to improve my skills. If I'm bored, I need to raise the challenge. And this is such a great reminder, a great illustration, a great chart to pull back to if you ever feel that way. Okay. And this helps us believe in the future, believe tomorrow that we do have a solution to overcome our anxiety or overcome our boredom, and really follow suit with this. Fantastic. And then third, it's the C of the ABCs. Connect deeply with others. And this is what makes life worth living, guys. When we are able to resonate and connect with people, that equals love. And so when we're able to do that, we need that recipe. Okay. So the recipe for the deeper connection starts with positivity. And when we connect with people, we want to have a shared positive emotional experience. Okay. A shared positive emotional experience. Positive energy, support, validation, safety, openness. What we're doing is that we're making sure their human needs are met, right? They feel safe. There's trust, the appreciation, the respect, validation, the encouragement, the dedication. And remember, you have to always bring your light to every situation. Okay. Positivity, synchrony, mirror, behavior, chemistry. We get in sync. We pair up. And then if they're low, we can lift them up with our energy and our positivity, but we're in sync. And so, when we're in sync and engaged, that's where real communication happens. And then we have to remember this, guys, in relationships. The third thing is charity. And that's charity in the way of we invest in the well-being of them. See, we go into a relationship to give. We don't go into a relationship to take. And we have to always be thinking about serving, caring, lifting, prompted by our character. Go back to the character assessment that you'll want to take. Look at the 5, 6 top ones. Go invest in your relationships, prompted by your strengths of your character. This is the recipe for deeper connection, guys. And really being able to, go in and add value and always make the situation better. And once we start to trade our expectations for appreciation, the world changes instantly. It just does. It changes instantly. And so, as promised, for you guys riding through that with me, you can go to mygrowthscore.com. And like I said, guys, it is the best business assessment, right? We're in the right frame of mind. We're grateful, appreciative for today. We believe in a bigger, better future. We understand the dynamics of, meeting the challenge, the skills required. And then we know it's all about connections. It's all about relationships, because to go from agent to CEO, the shift from solopreneur, self-employed to business owner always starts in the mind. The first step is mindset. The second thing is, who do I need? It's all a people equation after that. But what this assessment will give you guys will give you kind of where you need to give the most attention, the most focus, where the biggest constraint is in your business at this time. And what it'll do is it'll help you understand that the 8 areas of why your business is stuck or why your business will fail around clarity, not creating enough demand, not the right strategy. We don't have, systems. We don't have a team. We don't know how to communicate. We don't have the capital. And maybe we're not even aligned to who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. Maybe there's a misalignment there. Like I said, I've coached a lot of real estate agents over the last, 12, 13 years, 20 years in this game. I've coached people out of this business because it doesn't align to who they are, and that's okay. And so really take this assessment, help you out find out where you're stuck, where you're failing, and where we can make some immediate adjustments to help you guys grow. I want to wrap with this. So I had just finished my first marathon, which was a very monumental, hard thing for me. 40 years old, first marathon. The most I had ran up to that point was, the 5K beer runs, right? Go have some fun, go 3.1 miles, drink some beer, have a good time. But, made that commitment, to honor my mom and ended up honoring my dad and really running, my first marathon, New York City Marathon. And I remember sitting in LA and at Content and Commerce. It was Digital Marketers event before it was the last Content and Commerce that they did. And I remember sitting there, and it was the first time I had the opportunity to hear Jesse Itzler from stage, and hear Jesse speak. And you've ever been in a room, right? The speaker is speaking directly to you, and he was really, I felt that, and he hit me something right between the eyes. And he said, one of the worst things for us to do as human beings is accomplish a major milestone in our life and not immediately reset the goal to continue to push ourselves to be bigger and better. And I was like, shit. That was monumental for me, right? To be able to do that. And yet I hadn't reset the goal. And then in typical Michael Reese fashion, I get a text message from him with a link to Ironman Florida, 10-year anniversary. And I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? What is Ironman? I have no clue what this is. And see, I'm of the belief that you don't commit and figure it out. I'm of the belief that you figure out what it is, reverse engineer out what it's going to take for that to be successful, and then ask yourself, am I willing to commit to that? And I did that. I did the homework. I reverse engineered it. And I said, yeah, I'm going to commit to it. Well, knucklehead myself, since I had figured out how to run a marathon on my own, I could figure out how to run a full Ironman, right? If you guys aren't familiar, it's 2.6 miles in the water, 112 miles on the bike, and then a full marathon. So that gets you, over 140 miles between the three disciplines. And so I start on the path, start training, and I get about 2 months from the event, and I am just utterly lost, right? I've got more questions than I can find solutions for. And what happened is that the challenge got greater than the skill set that I had. And it was causing a tremendous amount of anxiety. And it was one of those aha moments, right? And I was in the mirror moment of like, dude, you're the biggest dummy on the planet. Okay. Get a coach. Stop messing around. You're a coach. Get a dang coach. And I did, first coach, and thank goodness. I mean, it was devastating because Hurricane Michael came through, destroyed Panama City Beach. So we weren't able to race Ironman Florida that year. However, it did give us 4, 5, 6 extra months of training with a coach under structure to develop the skill sets to then go race Ironman Texas and later Ironman Florida that year. And, with a coach, with a game plan, with accountability, being able to push and develop the skills required to meet the challenges ahead. 3 full Ironman finishes, and then now into the ultra distance, 100-mile foot races, being able to finish those. Got one coming up at the end of this year with a bigger goal to get into Badwater. But it's all developing the skills required to meet the challenges. And when you have framework, you have people, you have coaches, you have the things, it's all possible. Okay. It's all possible. And, appreciating the process, appreciating today, believing in that big future, believing that we're going to be able to achieve these things. And then just really connecting deeply with others along the way is really what the journey is all about. So thanks, guys. Hopefully you got some value, some nuggets, some things to help kind of get our mind in order, a framework, right? It's right things, right order. It all starts in the mind first. So some tools, some things to think about in the right order. But if you guys want to connect deeper, obviously we're all at John Kitchen's Coach everywhere, all platforms. We do have the Coach Code podcast. So actually this will actually make its way to the podcast as well. So head over, subscribe. Feel free to reach out, any questions that you guys have, and would love to be able to be a part of it and help answer anything that you guys have. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks. look forward to connecting with you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode of Expert Mentors Live. See you guys.